Dr. Aryan Toosi declared an 18-month-old boy dead. He was wrong. 5.5 hours after baby Vincent Lorenzo Fiordilino was pronounced dead at Mercy Gilbert Medical Center in Gilbert, Arizona, a transport worker walked into the hospital's freezing cold room and found him breathing. He was alive in the morgue. February 8th, 2026. Super Bowl Sunday. Fiordilino family gathered at their $750,000 home in Gilbert, Arizona. Mother Alexis, 29 years old. Father Angelo. Other relatives in the house. The game was on. Baby Vincent Lorenzo was 18 months old. He could not swim. When he went near water, his parents put flotation devices on him. They knew the pool was there. They knew what it meant. At some point that evening, Alexis and Angelo stepped away from the family. They went to the garage. They said it was to talk. When investigators entered that garage, they noted the smell of marijuana. Blood tests conducted later at the hospital confirmed both parents had cannabis in their systems. Angelo would later tell police that he and Alexis smoked marijuana at times. He said the last time he had done so was the morning of the drowning. They left an 18-month-old boy unattended. For approximately 15 minutes, no one was watching Vincent. At around 5:30 in the afternoon, Alexis walked back outside. She realized she had not seen her son. She found him floating face down in the swimming pool. Alexis immediately pulled Vincent from the water. The child was vomiting foam. She began performing CPR on the pool deck. Angelo then ran Vincent to the front yard and continued CPR as first responders arrived. An ambulance rushed him to Mercy Gilbert Medical Center. He arrived without a pulse. The hospital staff worked to resuscitate him. They fought for that child's life. And then Dr. Aryan Toosi made a decision. According to the police report, while Dr. Toosi was in the room with Vincent's parents, a nurse in another room made a critical statement. She said, "I have a pulse." A Gilbert police officer heard this. He immediately went to find the doctor. He told Dr. Toosi what the nurse had said. What happened next is documented in that officer's own written police report. The officer wrote, "Toosi arrogantly told me that he was the doctor. He has a medical degree. He went to medical school for a reason, and to let him do his thing. Let him do his thing." Dr. Toosi returned to the emergency room. He told staff to stop CPR, to stop all life-saving measures on that child. He then said, and these are his documented words, "As long as there are no objections, I'd like to call the time of death." 6 minutes later, Alexis and Angelo Fiordilino were escorted to say goodbye to their son. Both parents in their grief told police that they believed Vincent was still breathing. They said they could see him gasping for air. The medical staff dismissed them. Over the next hour, 2 Gilbert police officers continued to document what they were witnessing. In their official police reports, one officer wrote, "The release of air was audible and visible." That same officer later wrote, "It also began to sound like he was gasping for air." When medical staff moved Vincent's body towards the hospital's cold room, the morgue, a female officer observed what she described as another audible gasp. She entered the morgue alongside them. She wrote, "I again observed what appeared to be a gas or air release, which was now almost an hour later." The nurse present offered an explanation. She told officers these sounds were consistent with agonal breathing, an involuntary brainstem reflex that occurs when the brain is severely deprived of oxygen. A last automatic signal. She said it was Vincent's body shutting down. She said the child was not alive. The last sound captured on the police body cam footage in that hospital was an officer's voice telling a family to say goodbye to their child.
Nicole Grigg, records show when the medical examiner came to pick up the child's body, he was still alive. Now there are serious questions about what went wrong inside that hospital.
I'm going to be right behind you guys, or do you want me in front?
You're watching Gilbert Police body camera video showing a frantic scene from Super Bowl Sunday after a toddler was pulled from a family pool in Gilbert.
Oh, Salty, I'm leaving. Mercy Gilbert.
A Gilbert police officer rushed to her car to escort the ambulance carrying that baby to Mercy Gilbert Medical Center. The ABC 15 investigators obtained these heavily redacted body camera videos from inside the hospital. Much of the video is blurred, most of the audio has been muted. But a police report reveals something critical. Two officers say they saw signs of life more than once. One officer wrote that a nurse in another room believed she found a pulse, and when the officer tried to alert the doctor, he claims that the doctor dismissed the concern, writing that the doctor arrogantly told me he was the doctor, he has the medical degree, he went to medical school for a reason, and to let him do his thing. ABC 15 appears to have located part of that exchange in the body camera video just moments before the doctor declares the baby dead.
I went to medical school for a reason. I'm not trying to do that. Okay, let me just clarify. Thank you.
But that was not the only signs of life that records show hospital staff ignored. The report provides a critical timeline. About 6:20, the doctor declared the boy dead. Over the next hour, the officers detailed hearing gasping sounds, but those didn't stop. As the baby was then about to be moved to the morgue, the officers heard an audible gasp. Then inside the morgue, the officer wrote she observed another gasp or air release, which was now almost an hour later. But a nurse didn't take those signs seriously, saying those sounds could be a response from efforts to save the toddler. All of that audio, though, was redacted.
I'm gonna let mom and dad come in here, okay?
Some of the last recordings we hear was when the family was told to say goodbye. Then more than 5 hours later, at 11:52 p.m., the medical examiner's office found that the baby was breathing inside the morgue. He was flown to Phoenix Children's Hospital, and that's when the family learned he was alive. The officer writing that the baby was declared dead in error. An MRI said that the baby had brain damage and we're told he will need lifelong care. An attorney for the family declined to comment. Mercy Gilbert saying in a statement, this is a heartbreaking situation and that they immediately conducted a thorough review of all aspects of the care provided to learn what happened and to make meaningful changes to strengthen their care. However, they could not say more out of respect for the patient's privacy. Now, there is a lot more to the story, and we'll continue to look into how this could happen. I'm ABC.
At 11:52 in the evening, 5.5 hours later, Dr. Aryan Toosi declared baby Vincent Lorenzo dead. The medical examiner's transport arrived at the hospital to collect the child's body. They found him breathing inside the morgue. Vincent was immediately airlifted to the Phoenix Children's Hospital. An MRI was ordered. Doctors confirmed that he had suffered brain damage. His grandmother, Yaelene Perez, launched a GoFundMe to support Vincent's recovery. In her own words, she wrote, his devastated parents were sent home in unimaginable grief, but God had other plans. A secondary MRI conducted days later returned a different result. No brain damage. Doctors identified only a small area of bruising, believed to cause minor balance issues. The medical team treating baby Vincent, they have a name for him now. They call him the Miracle Baby. Parents Alexis and Angelo have been charged with child or vulnerable adult abuse. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office is reviewing the case and will make the final charging decision. Dr. Aryan Toosi's attorney has declined to comment on the case, stating only that there are important medical facts that have not been reported. Dr. Toosi is licensed through the Arizona Osteopathic Board, Dignity Health, and has refused to confirm whether he remains employed at the hospital. Mercy Gilbert Medical Center released a statement. They called the situation heartbreaking. They said they conducted a thorough review. They said patient safety is their highest priority. They would not discuss details. An 18-month-old child was left unattended near water. He nearly drowned. A doctor dismissed a nurse who reported a pulse. He dismissed a police officer who reported the same. 2 officers documented signs of life, audible, visible, for over an hour and were told they were wrong. That child spent 5.5 hours in a hospital morgue, alive and breathing, while his parents were told to grieve him. Every person in that room who knew who or should have known that Vincent Lorenzo was still breathing carries the weight of that night.
On the grass won't wash away undetected.